The Battle of Irving. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be, ladies and gentlemen, listening or watching or going into the archive of the Irv Homer Show. It is Monday, November the 10th, 2008, and we are here on the East Coast of the United States, and the election is over, and we'll get into some of the things that are on the minds of most folks. And once again, I've decided to call this CSR Radio. CSR Radio, Common Sense Radio. And you know me, there is nothing that happens by accident, ladies and gentlemen. Everything that is happening today has already been prophesied years ago by me and two or three other talk show hosts who were willing to swim upstream like a salmon. While everyone was going this way, we were going this way. And so we are now this way, and the bloviators are now speaking and talking and making no sense whatsoever.
We do have a call online.
We have a call. Okay, let me give the phone number first. First, we have a phone number. It's 215-253-8877. 215-253-8877. And the Irv Homer Show has a chat room, so you can get on the chat room, and we will welcome the caller. Caller, good evening, good afternoon. How are you? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air,
Hey,
sir.
I got two quick questions. A state representative is going out of office.
I can't hear you.
A state representative is going out of office, and he gives a number to somebody else of the opposite party. And I'm not being funny. Why is that? You know, he's a Democrat. He gave a Republican senator his phone number, but not a Democratic congressman.
He gave his phone number. What phone number?
Yeah, so if you have any problems, please contact this person for help. I'm just thinking, since he's a Democrat, don't you think you should give a Democrat's phone number, like the congressman, instead of the state senator who's a Republican?
Well, I don't know what you're referring to, but I can assume that it may be because the person that he referred him to is more familiar with what the request of the person was than going to someone of his own party. I don't know the facts of the case, so I can't speak intelligently about it.
So if it's possible, there's no animosity between the people in the party.
I have no idea, Vince. I don't know what the situation is, and until I would know all the details, it would be foolish of me to make a comment.
Okay, and the second question is, I was going to go get a teeth cleaner from a dentist, and they were going to charge me $140. I found a dentist who was going to give me a free teeth cleaning. How would you feel about getting it for free compared to somebody paying for it?
Well, there's an old story, and that story is what you get for nothing's worth nothing. You sure the guy's a dentist?
Yeah, he just opened up the office about 2 months, so it's like an introduction special to his office. It says, come go meet me and get a free teeth clean and exam and all that stuff.
Have you had them cleaned yet and examined?
I'm going there tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Well, I don't know who the gentleman is or woman we do have women dentists today, but I do know that one thing occurred in my broadcast career when there was a group of osteopaths who were offering free manipulation, your spine and all that. And all you had to do was go make an appointment at their office. And once you went there, they said, oh my goodness, guess what? You have a displaced disc, you need this, you need that. By the time they walked out of the poor osteopathic's office, it's a wonder they didn't come out in a wheelchair. So I can assure you that when you go to, I don't know, like I said, I don't know the deal, but this was a deal that was done many years ago with osteopaths. I can assure you that he's going to find cavities, he's going to find dislocated membranes, you're going to need Vince, you know by now, there's nothing for nothing, so they're going to find something wrong with your teeth. Let me know on Wednesday what they found.
Yes, sir. You have a great night, Irv.
Same to you, my friend. Yeah,
Thank you.
That was a deal that was done many years ago by osteopaths. And the people went there, free manipulation, blah, 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 and they went there and they got osteopatized, all right. But by the time the osteopath got done with him, the poor guy felt he should be in traction by the time he got home. So it's something that they do to build up a reserve. Our chat room is open for your questions, your comments, and your telephone calls at 215-253-8877, 215-253-8877. My name is Irv Homer. We do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're broadcasting from irvhomer.com, and my website is www.irvhomer.com. And please email me at evilirv@irvhomer.com if you have questions that you can't get through, or you're not at the particular time convenient to do it, you can email me and I'll answer your questions on the air. I have a bunch of material here that I went into and researched, and once again, this is common sense radio of things that you just get sound bites of, and you really don't have the time, I suppose, to research things and look at them in depth. The President-elect Obama met with President Bush today, and probably had a graceful combination. Well, what do they? I mean, the one guy's the president; he's a multimillionaire, George Bush. The other guy just elected president for $400,000 a year, and for the next 4 years, he's going to live like a king. So why should these two guys fight? You're out in the street, the Democrats and the Republicans and the conservatives and the liberals are going to kill each other. These two guys had lunch. And the wife said, come on, I'll show you the bedroom. I'll show you how the water runs. I'll show you everything. It's amazing how the rich and the powerful always manage to get along, and the poor schlubs down on the bottom of the rung. We fight. We fight against everybody. Well, let's go into some of the things, ladies and gentlemen, that I consider to be one issue on the campaign, and why it is difficult, and why the bloviators get so much time to blast either President Bush or President-elect Obama or any president. And that's all the bloviators do. Now, which one of these, and I wrote a list of them down here, which one of the things here are you for, and which one are you opposed to? And you're the president. You wake up and say, oh my God, I was elected president. Look what I got to deal with here. Oh my God. Well, I wrote some of them down just for the heck of it. And I should have gone back to 1972 when we came up with an entire platform, John Mihalchik and I. But before they do that, I want to say that tomorrow is Veterans Day, November the 11th. And what does Veterans Day mean? It means sales. Every automobile dealer, every department store, every Christmas decoration,
Every online store.
and every online store, a Veterans Day. Thank God for the veterans, us veterans, so you whores can have a sale. We have commercialized serious days of commemoration, ladies and gentlemen, so bad, they've got a Veterans Day at the casino. It's so mind-boggling to me how commercialized we've gotten. That we have I don't celebrate Veterans Day because I can't stand the fact that the sales and all this other crap that's going on. I'm a veteran. I'll tell you what I have done, okay? You want to check it out, check it out. World War II, 15th Air Force, 5th Wing, 99th Bomb Group, 346th Squadron. Check it out for yourself. You know what I did. So yes, I'm a veteran. Am I proud of it? You're damn right am I proud of it. Would I do it again? If the conditions wanted, probably. But I'm going to tell you in all honesty, whether you're the enemy of this country or whether you're a soldier of this country, anybody in uniform's a sucker. I repeat. The Germans were suckered by Hitler. We were suckered by giving Hitler $475 billion. I'm not going to go into it. But the rich and powerful never die. The leaders of the world never die. The schlubs like you and me and your kids, we die. The poor people die. The little kids get their legs blown off. But it's all done in the name of glory and patriot. Anyway, tomorrow's Veterans Day. More power to our veterans. And glad you made it alive. To those who are in the hospitals and those who are suffering from all these strange things that are happening today with this Iraq, Afghanistan war, more power to you guys. I know what the hell you're going through, but there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. This is. You think war is glorified? You want to march the parades? You want to play drums and bugles and all? Take a look at the result of it. I don't mean the guys that sit in the quartermaster, hand out food, the cooks, and I mean the guys in the front line. I think it's only about 10% of guys in the military ever see combat. They're the poor. We're the poor suckers. We're the ones that came back nutty in a bed bug. But you don't give a crap. You don't care. You don't care. Gotta have a sale, right? Gonna go visit a vet? No, I gotta go to Macy's tomorrow. Gotta sale. Gotta go Cole. Gotta go sale. Gotta sale tomorrow. Everybody's going to do a sale. Anyway, on our chat room, why is Obama being briefed about world affairs by the Bush administration before he proves he is a natural-born citizen? Well, since there's no public outcry, Bill, as to whether or not Philip Berg and others throughout the country are demanding to see Barack Obama's birth certificate, I guess he will be briefed about world affairs and given security clearance by the Bush administration. You know, people think it's a joke, and we just gloss over things, Bill. So I think that President Bush, if he was really a patriotic president, if he was really had the interests of America at heart, would say, hey, listen, Barack, there's a problem that seems to be, could you give me a copy of your birth certificate? You think he'd have the balls to do that? I doubt it very much. I doubt it very much. If I was a president, I was interested. I'd say, hey, listen, where's your birth certificate? And if he wasn't born in Kenya, what's he so happy about? Huh? Anyway, some of the issues. Well, let's go to Mike in Pennsville on the chat room. Our telephone number, if you care to call in, is 215-253-8877. My name's Irv Homer, and this is Common Sense Radio, and we try to give you as much truth and information as possible. You know, my theory is, folks, nothing just happens by accident. Obama was created not by accident. He was created for a reason. Irv, I find it funny that the conservative talk show hosts are so upset that Obama has been elected. They now have material for the next 4 years. When will the public see these frauds for what they are? Mike in Pennsville. You're absolutely right, Mike. I've said that for years. I had that with management many years ago when they were debating whether to carry Rush Limbaugh or not. And they said, well, what happens if, if Bush loses? I said, it'll be the best thing in the world. Look what you guys did to Clinton. I mean, when they had Clinton for 4 years, or for 8 years, they beat the hell out of Clinton. Now these babies are crying, oh, look what they've done to poor President Bush. Look what the liberals are doing to Bush. These guys forget what they did to Bill Clinton. And what was Bill Clinton's crime? Did he send anybody to war? Was there 10 million people unemployed? He got blowed in the White House. Big deal. For this, there was a whole big thing, and every day he's immoral. Hillary Clinton don't care what the hell is it your business. But the thing the conservative, and most talk show hosts do, I never did it, but that was different. I was unique, I guess. They know that Boobus America doesn't study history. So they forget what they did to Bill Clinton for 8 years and what they did to the country for 8 years. What they did to Hillary Clinton, what they did to Bill Clinton, what they did to Vince Foster, where the guy committed suicide. Yeah, that crazy Jerry Falwell selling books, that crazy minister, one of the core of the conservative Republican Party, Jerry Falwell. Remember him? Looney Tooney Jerry? Huh? Jerry was selling videotapes proving that Hillary Clinton killed Vince Foster. See, there's no one on talk radio today that, as old as I am, or remembers like I do for my age. That's why these guys get away with what they get away with, Bill, or Mike rather, from Pennsville. That's why they get away with it. Because I've got research sitting here, facts, not suppositions, not opinions, not journalistic, but true facts of everything that I say that you can check. You forget for 8 years. Well, people think, let's see, Clinton was in office when? Clinton got out of office in the year 2000. Right? So 1994. 92. 4, 6, 4, yeah, 92. Okay. For 8 years, these conservative windbags had a field day. And for the last 8 years, they've been saying, I got this nutty guy O'Reilly says we won the war in Iraq. We won the If we won the war in Iraq, Mr. O'Reilly, what are we still doing there? If you win, you come home. I don't get it. Let's go to Bill from Lenai. Irv, why is anyone being briefed by Bush? Obama should be talking to Cheney. Well, actually, Bush is Cheney's mouth. See, Cheney is the ventriloquist, and Bush is the dummy. So by speaking to Bush, he's really speaking to Cheney. The question is, how much is he briefing him, and what is he telling him? But in the transition team, probably those assigned by Barack Obama will be speaking to Cheney. Biden will be speaking to Cheney, the vice president, and then they'll get together with Barack Obama's cabinet, put all the things on the table after each one of the individual guys briefed the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of War, Secretary, we don't have a Secretary of War anymore. Well, we don't have war. We have incidents. So the briefing is just a superficial briefing. The real nuts and bolts he won't know about until he really gets in there and has to make the decisions. So that's the answer to that question. Our chat room is open. Our telephone number 215-253-8877. So let's go back to the one issue that really bugged you in the campaign, or bugged the right or the left in the campaign. And I wrote down some of the things. Number one, I wrote down, and not particularly in these orders of importance, but the number one issue is abortion. The core belief of the conservative, we must have abortion. We must have abortion on the left, must be available. Late-term abortion must be available. And you have the right-wing core saying, no, abortion is murder, blah, 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 blah. So now the president, whether it's Obama or whether it had been John McCain, so he's got to go to bed at night thinking, what the hell should I do with abortion to make everybody happy? And what makes you happy about abortion? Was that the one issue? Was that your one issue, that you wanted a pro-abortion, or you were pro-life? What was your position? And how much did that affect your decision in voting for the president of the United States in this last election? Was that the one key? Did you push aside everything else under the sun and say, no, I will not vote for any president who is pro-abortion? I don't care if he wants the strongest military in the world. I don't care whether he deals with green gas. I don't care whether he deals with global warming. I want a president who is pro-life. And so the president goes to bed at night with 9 million, and Bush did too, 9 million emails about pro-life in these demonstrations. And then, of course, this past week, if you watch the news, ladies and gentlemen, you saw everybody running to get handguns. The rumor from the, what I call cackleheads, was that Obama's going to take your guns away. So we better buy more of them. And you have the one-issue gun control folks. They don't want a gun restriction on anything. You can buy machine guns, hand grenades, RPGs, you name it. We want to have our guns, and ain't nobody going to take our guns away from us. So the cackleheads have got everyone stirred up that Obama, when he becomes president, is going to take away all your guns. So was that one of the things that pushed your button, gun control? Then the old boogeyman always jumps up. You know what's wrong with America? Ain't no prayer in school. If we had prayer back in school again, ladies and gentlemen, our problems would be solved. There's a Mennonite school, I forget exactly where it is. It was mentioned, I don't get exactly. There's 300 million people in this country. $300 million. And what? 180,000 schools? One school that is predominantly Mennonite, will not say the Pledge of Allegiance when school opens. However, they do say prayer, which is against the law. However, one of the bloviators on radio today he was having an orgasm. He was going crazy, ladies and gentlemen. The schools are now preventing the Pledge of Allegiance but they allowed prayer in the school. What's wrong? That headmaster of that school should be lynched. He should be taken out. There's 180,000 schools, and this putz is on the air getting all excited about one school who I'm sure the American Civil Liberty Union will come down on and say that you can't have a prayer in school. And under the freedom that this country gives you, you don't have to say the Pledge of Allegiance. But if you would hear this nutcase on radio today, it is unbelievable. And this is what you get on radio today. So, is prayer in school your big thing? And would you vote Pete's against prayer in school? Don't want to vote him. He's a bad guy. So we got abortion, gun control, prayer in school. All these things the presidents are going to deal with. Now, we got to have a strong defense. Anybody against a strong defense? Of course not. Question is, defending against who? Well, we got all them Mexicans coming across the border from the south with all them drug dealers from Colombia and from Mexico. So we got to have a defense against the drug dealers. Then we got to make sure that we have the best missiles, the most accurate missiles, the best outer space missiles, the best nuclear submarines, the best Poseidon submarines, the best launching submarines, the best fighter aircraft, the best kill ratio with our hand weapons for our infantrymen, the best communications system. So, man, we got a really problem with big defense. So now the president has to go to bed, and he's got to worry about the defense. But how much should he spend? Who gets the contracts? How much money should go for research and development? And how do we keep the hackers like China out of the Pentagon, which they busted into this week, or last week rather? So the president goes to bed with defense on his mind. Got the peaceniks, them bleeding heart, them Jesus guys that Jesus with his blood. Isn't it amazing? I make all these things and nobody responds to it. I mean, even on DB when there was a big audience, they used to sit with their thumb in their mouth. We're a Christian nation. Then why do we belittle the man of Christ who was a bleeding heart? They said my audience was like 2 million people on a rotating basis. Time spent listening on that. I said, what's a bleeding heart? Who's the bleeding? Even you folks out there, how many of you are? It goes in the archive. Nobody responds to a bleeding heart. Was it Jesus they were talking about? Who are they talking about, this bleeding heart liberal? It's so mind-boggling. It's why I say, ladies and gentlemen, ain't nothing going to change. Because the mindset of the human being, for some reason or other, does not want to be questioned with its biases and its prejudices. You got something fixed in your mind, you ain't changing. Even though the facts are there and obvious to you. A simple question. Was the bleeding heart of Jesus where they got bleeding heart liberal from that is now a derogatory term? So we'll deal with a strong defense. Then we use the cliche, folks, of what we need is better schools, right? We have to have better schools. What the hell does that mean, better schools? Maybe we need better students. But politicians won't say we need better students, because now you're insulting the taxpayer, who is the parents of the kids in school that don't want to learn, who pay through their taxes the politician's salary. So no politician is going to get up on television and say, you know what's wrong with our schools? The kids we get. You don't have them home life. They eat their food at McDonald's. They hang out in the malls. They're playing with electric kind of widgets. You buy them the best widget. You give us a kid who is receptive of education from his home and his environment, we'll give you a good student. But you give us a kid that we have to feed breakfast. Who the hell ever heard of feeding a kid breakfast in the morning in school? I'm watching television this afternoon, and on the community channel, breakfast is served from 8:30 to 9:05. What the hell do you mean breakfast is served in school? Now lunch I can see, because the kid may live too far from school, so they have a lunchroom there where you can. They feed breakfast in schools? But we parents, us good parents, need better schools, so them teachers don't know what the hell they're doing. Of course, if you knew what you were doing, you'd feed your kid breakfast before the kid went to school. You're not going to get a politician to say that. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to cut out breakfasts in school. You want your kids to have breakfast? Feed them at home. Right? Am I right? So how is a politician, a president, a vice president, a mayor, a governor, how do you deal with that? Got to give breakfast in schools. But we'll have better schools. What the? We'll have a school that the plumbing works? A school that's warm in the summer and cool in the winter? Or rather cool in the summer and warm in the winter? What the hell are you talking about? Better schools. Give us the kids. Give us the kids that have a stable home life. Have some of you women keep your legs closed until you get a husband that's willing to take care of you and the kids. Some of you are like broodmares out there. You knock them out every 9 months like they knock out baseballs or hand gloves. And you Johnson's running around there with your wand. You think you think that makes you a big man because you knock up every boy you meet. And what is the claim to fame on television? It's Dopey Maury Povich. Who's the father of the 8 babies? This is what Boobus America wants. And this is what you're going to get. And that's why I say nothing's going to change until attitude changes and you get the fuzzballs the hell out of your head. The Maury Povich Show, all of these shows, reality, eating snakes, eating worm, they wouldn't function if you sickos out there didn't want to watch it. So that's what the president, suppose the president wanted to clean it. Listen, television's all right, okay? You want to listen to that crap, pay for it. But the general public of 300 million people are willing to watch the Hallmark Hall of Fame, a good movie, good love story. Trouble is, we have too much crime in America. Oh, we do? Well, what about Dirty Harry? Huh? What about Hang 'em High? Fistful of Dollars? Who are our heroes? Every shoot 'em up son of a bitch from Arnold Schwarzenegger that kills somebody, rips their guts out, tears their choke out, beats them the hell up. They're our heroes. Audie Murphy was my hero. Al Schmidt from Philadelphia knocked off like 30 Japanese before Al got caught. He was standing, I think he was in Okinawa. Schwarzenegger's the hero. Hulk Hogan, another genius. But those are the kids that you want the teacher to teach. And let's go into some of the black heroes. Tupac Shakur. Who the hell is Tupac Shakur? Meatball. What are some of the names of these guys? Hi, Teach. And what did you watch last night, Billy? Hey, Meatball was on. Oh, yeah, good. We're going to study algebra. What the hell's algebra? I want to see Meatball. Or Tupac. Or Dingbat. But we need better schools. See, better schools are going to correct all the problems that we have in a social society with nitwit parents who want me and you to feed their kid because they can't get their ass out of bed in the morning and feed the kid themselves. So we need better schools. Now we come to one that just failed in California, and that is same-sex marriage. Well, I've looked at the situation, ladies and gentlemen, of same-sex marriage for many years. And it dawned on me don't make a damn bit of difference to me if two females want to get married or two men want to get married. How in the hell is that going to affect my life? Now, I do believe there should be certain constitutional standards and certain norms that should be for a civilized society. But let me ask you this. What causes more problems in our society? Same-sex marriages or priests that molest children and there was a cover-up? Or what has created more problems in America? Same-sex marriages or gambling? Or what about same-sex marriages and drinking? Wouldn't you rather have a gay, sober couple living next to you that took care of their property than some drunk that may get in his car and kill your kid or kill your wife or kill your loved one when he drives down the street? Take a look at the police log in the Bucks County Courier-Times. Every damn one of them is DUI, 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 DUI. I've never seen any crime in that police log for 22 years since I've been living in Bucks County. It says gay assault, gay assault, gay. I've seen drunks listed page after page after page after page. Never saw one crime committed by a gay. But you're against gay marriages. But we better not have prohibition again. You see, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to get the fuzzballs the hell out of your head. Do I prefer heterosexual marriages? Of course. But is it my business if another man loves another man or a woman loves another woman and she wants the right of visitation if that person's in the hospital, or have them in a will and make it a union, and they want all the problems of marriage? And marriage is a problem, especially if you're suffering from a death or a divorce. And I guarantee you there are more senior citizens living together today, not because they don't love each other, but by the time you get done with the lawyers and the prenuptial agreements, you can't get married today. The system today prevents heterosexual seniors from getting married because economically they can't afford to do it. Think about it. The woman loses her husband's Social Security. She may have a pension, and some of those pensions read the unremarried widow of. So if she receives a pension from her husband's former place of employment, his Social Security, whatever investment, and she gets married, she loses his pension and his Social Security. And sometimes that can run into $24,000, $25,000 a year. So senior citizens will live together because they can't afford to get married. Do they address that situation? No. We're worried about same-sex marriages. This is the stupidity. You got to look at the numbers. You got to see how it affects society. Do you realize that gay people don't make babies that I got to keep and you have to keep? Gay people adopt the babies that are left over from you heterosexual fornicators. Where do you think they get the babies from? Okay, some of them do have artificial insemination, and that's their right to do it. Now you make the babies, You dump them on the door of a hospital someplace. They want to, a gay couple, you gay people can't adopt a baby. Well, what about the two that made the baby that dumped it on the police station step? You see what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? We're convoluted in our thinking. You can maintain your standard of living and your sense of values. If you don't want an abortion, your daughter, don't have one. Nobody is forcing you to have an abortion whatsoever, none whatsoever. But is it I don't have to carry a baby around for 9 months waiting for some bastard to give me child support go down to family court and see how many babies down there don't get supported by the men who make them. You don't see family court for gays. They don't have any babies. They adopt your babies, you whore makers. But same-sex marriage, it's against the Bible. Well, let me expand a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, if I may. I'm on a roll. Don't stop me. I'm on a roll. The kid's on a roll. This is a letter to President Bush and to the advocates of being. Now, I have nothing wrong with you believing in the Bible. Nothing whatsoever. The trouble is, you don't know what's in it. I repeat, you don't know what's in it. As many people don't know what's in the Constitution of the United States. So this person writes to the president, says, I need some advice. This is God's law, quoting chapter and verse. Leviticus 25:44 states that I may possess slaves, both male and female, provided they are purchased from neighboring nations. A friend of mine claimed that this applies to Mexicans, but not Canadians. Can you clarify? Why can't I own Canadians? Now look it up in Leviticus, ladies and gentlemen. For you, if you're a fundamentalist, if you are that core that the Republican Party is so concerned about, it says here in the scripture, Leviticus 25:44 states, I may possess slaves, both male and female. You don't want to read that part of the Bible, right, gang? Okay, let's move on to this. I would like to sell my daughter into slavery as sanctioned in Exodus 21:7. In this day and age, what do you think would be a fair price for her? Oh, you're against gay marriage. You're against abortion. How about this one? Why can't I sell my daughter? And how much do you get for him? Oh, you're against that. Number 3, I know that I am allowed no contact with a woman while she is in her period of menstrual uncleanliness. Leviticus 15:19-24. The problem is, how do I tell? I tried asking, but most women take offense. Number 4, from the good book. When I burn a bull on the altar as a sacrifice, I know it creates a pleasing odor for the Lord. Leviticus 1:9. Problem is my neighbors. They claim the odor is not pleasing to them. Should I smite them? This is from the good book, folks, that you're so concerned about marriages with gay people and abortion. I have a neighbor who insists on working on the Sabbath. Exodus 35:2 clearly states he should be put to death. Am I morally obligated to kill myself, or should I ask the police to do it? What about playing football on Sunday? A friend of mine feels that even though eating shellfish is an abomination, Leviticus 11:10, it is a lesser abomination than homosexuality. I don't agree. Can you settle this? Are there degrees of abomination? Leviticus 21:20 states that I may not approach the altar of God if I have a defect in my sight. I have to admit that I wear reading glasses. Does my vision have to be 20/20, or is there any wiggle room there? Most of my male friends get their hair trimmed, including the hair around their temples, even though Leviticus 19 expressly forbids this. 27. How should they die? I know from Leviticus 11:6-8 that touching the skin of a dead pig makes me unclean, but may I still play football if I wear gloves? I'm not making fun, ladies and gentlemen, of Scripture. I'm not making fun of honest, sincere people of faith or of the book. I'm merely pointing out the hypocrisy of some of the positions that we take and adhere to. And we don't want to hear that. I've been accused of blasphemy. I'm the Antichrist. I didn't put this in the. I read it from the Bible. I read it from the good book. What's it say about marrying your brother's wife or something if he gets killed, even though you have a wife? See, you know why there's so much frustration in religion? Because a lot of stuff in there that you can't live up to, and it frustrates the living hell out of you. Why do you work on Sunday? Why do people who believe in the faith, the good book, who are such moralists when it comes to abortion, when it comes to same-sex marriages, when it comes to gay people, even slavery, many people of the book objected to slavery. But there were many people who wanted it because it said in the book, you're allowed to have slaves. And that's why you're frustrated. You read all that and say, well, I believe that. But why do you work on Sunday? Why would a good Christian who believes in the good book work 7 days a week and work on Sunday? Now suppose the same preacher man or the same president was asked the question, because of faith, we cannot have same-sex marriages. It's against the principles of the book. And also, you will not be able to work on Sunday unless you work in an essential job like a fireman, a policeman. There'll be no ball games, there'll be no movies, there'll be a limited amount of television other than information channels, and that's all because the good book is against abortion, the good book is against same-sex marriages, and the good book says you must rest on the seventh day. We're dealing with one issue. So let's go to the chat room. Will abortion be more easy for kids in high school to get them without parents knowing about it, even though we have to sign for our kids to get medicine? That's where some of the hypocrisy comes in at. As long as that you are, our law states that you are responsible for the child, in some states 16 years of age, 18 years of age, then it is mandatory, in my opinion, for any medical procedure to be performed on any child, even with the acceptance of the court, even though in some of these cases where the child is 16, she can't get parental consent, but she go to a judge and the judge will, no, I don't want a judge telling my daughter that she can have an abortion. I'm going to be the ones responsible for it. So I say yes. Abortion should only be any medical procedure, whether it's abortion, having a tooth pulled, having an injection. You can have an abortion, but you're a child. I pay for you. I own the candy store. I'm responsible for whatever you do. And so I will dictate any medical procedure that's performed on any child of mine. Will they be honest with Obama, or will they try to undermine his presidency? Who's the they? We always run into the they and the them. I don't know who the they is, and I don't know who the them is. Who is they and who is them? I suppose, I'm just being smart out of it, folks. I suppose, do you think they will give Obama misinformation when they, what word am I looking for? When they brief him? No, I don't think so, because with the staff that Obama would have, or any president would have, it's very easy to check out the authenticity of it. The records are kept. But I will tell you one thing, the bloviators on radio and television, the O'Reillys and the names of those people that I hold nothing but near it, they're like a pimple on the ass of an elephant. They get on my nerves. The eczema of society, I call them. I'm sure they're going to do their best to destroy Obama. This crap. Oh, he's our president and we won. I don't believe that crap. The week after he gets inaugurated in January, they'll start. Yes, that's the problem with the two-party system. When the Democrats are in, they try to destroy the Republicans. When the Republicans win, they try to destroy the Democrats. Because if they didn't, you'd have one party in there all the time. Second of all, we don't have a two-party system in America. Much to the chagrin of many people, we don't have a two-party system. Irv, what about the parents that claim Pop-Tarts are breakfast and feed their children for their breakfast? Aaron from Three goes, who cares? I don't care if the parents feed them rotten eggs for breakfast. It's none of your business what the kid next door eats for breakfast, Aaron. As long as the parent feeds them, it's their kid. The child that eats in school breakfast is not the state's child. It's the parent's child. And it's the responsibility of the parent to feed them. So if the parent wants to feed them Pop-Tarts, let them feed them Pop-Tarts. What do I care? I'm not paying for the Pop-Tarts.
Phone call.
We have a phone call coming in on the line, and you are on the air, sir or ma'am. Go ahead, sir.
Will you allow me a rant from Thailand?
A rant? Well, I'll give you
a rant. I'm in a mood for a rant.
As long as you make sense.
I woke up today.
Sorry about it.
I look on Drudge Report.
Yes.
And I'm greeted by, I don't know, must have been 4 or 5 stories that make me glad that I left. But it's still making me ill what they're doing to my country back there. The first one was the thing where Obama says he's going to be ready to rule on day one. Now, I know that was a spokesman for him, some transitional something or other to the White House. That's great. But it does underscore the prevailing thought in the Obama camp. He's ready to rule. I like that one. The other one was the $2 trillion that they can't find and the Fed won't tell them where it went. I like that too. I like the mandatory, whatchamacallit, that they're going to have everybody 18 to 25 doing mandatory service to the government. Even Russia doesn't do that kind of crap. What the hell's wrong with these people?
It's
community. I have these ideas.
It's community service.
I'm being like, what? Every, you know what? It fits into place because everybody is considered to be a criminal now, and that makes perfect sense that they should all be doing some kind of. They can call it civic duty all they want. It's called community service. It's a sentence for being an American. God love the country. Now, I got my predictions. These are Howard's predictions for the next 4 years, and here they are, and they're pretty short and sweet. You will not see a repeal of any abomination that Bush put his hand to, including the Patriot Act, the removal of posse comitatus. What you will see is you will see an addition to everything that Bush has put his signature to. You will have Patriot 3. Hell, you might even get Patriot Act 4 with our new supreme ruler. Number 2, the man is not going to turn to the right or even the center. He's going to fall so far left, but he will follow every dictate of the Bilderbergers, of whoever's pulling the strings in this country to make all of us slaves. And that's where we're going. Obama is not going to be the new Messiah. He's not going to liberate anybody. In fact, from the crap you see from Rahm Emanuel, he's going to be putting everybody in short-term prison camps. Those are my predictions. He's not going to do anything good for us.
Well, they're rather exaggerated predictions, but because of the severity of the economic problem in America today, Howard, and because of the crime that exists today, and because of the almost semi-anarchy that we have today, I can assure you that there will be a national police force in addition to your local police force. And the indication was in Philadelphia today, the mayor said to cut down the budget, he's going to remove the Philadelphia police from patrolling I-95 and let it up to the state police. The state police can't handle it. There will be a national police force. We've got 160,000 unemployed civilians working, or employed civilians working in Afghanistan and Iraq. And according to O'Reilly, the nitwit, the war has been won. You're going to get 130,000 servicemen back to America. You're going to get 160,000 civilians back to America, according to the so-called Surge and the O'Reillys and the Bush lovers that we've won the war over there. What are we going to do with all those people? We're going to put them in community service. And what are we going to do with and what are we going to do with what are we going to do with the unemployed youth in America? We're going to put them in CC camps like Franklin Delano Roosevelt did until we have a good major war. You're absolutely right. You can predict it because it's happened before, and Boobus America never studies history, so we'll have it again. We may even have internment camps again because the Japanese internment law prior to World War II has never been repealed.
Well, and let me tell you something. I have been listening to a lady by the name of Naomi Wolf, who is, for the most part, years back, she had very successful books she wrote about feminist issues. And I don't know if you've caught her on YouTube or you've seen her on television, but she's been doing the rounds, been doing the interviews, and her message is quite clear, and that is that she has looked at all the societies throughout history that have gone from democratic societies to a closed society. And she's looked at all the things that happen in those societies in order to close that society down. And her message is very vital because what she says is, and she's correct, is that everything that was done, Mussolini did, that Hitler did in Germany prior to him taking over, is being done here.
Well, our economic system today is based on Willy Schacht, who was the finance minister for Adolf Hitler, and they're doing the same thing at this last financial convention that they had. So there is nothing. You're absolutely right. You know, great civilizations like America only last about 200 years. And they go from dependency back to tyrants, and people are going to be willing to give up their freedoms and their luxuries for security. I had mentioned that people were afraid under the Patriot Act they're going to lose their freedoms. Well, the poor people have already lost their freedom. I don't want to wear a seatbelt when I drive a car. I don't want to pay $1,800 extra to have airbags in my car. I want to smoke if I'm in a bar. The poor people and the lower class people in America have already lost their freedoms, and they're too dumb to know it. The rich people haven't. That's why they screwed us with the Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns and everybody else. So the poor people, the lower echelon people, are always going to be led by tyrants, and this guy has delusions of grandeur. This guy thinks he can walk on water.
Well, let me tell you something.
And the American people are enamored with him.
Well, it's 50-some% of the American people. But let me tell you something that portends our future. Even the people that are in your chat room right now. Last week I said to you that the Army was bringing back not civilian people and not troops that were in non-combat areas, but they were specifically returning combat troops from Iraq to the United States to be attached to NORTHCOM, to be serving in times of rebellion or whatever.
Oh, sure.
They can sugarcoat it all they want.
Sure.
I put up the Army Times link, the article that started this whole thing off. It's not my opinion. It was stated right in the Army Times. It's already been confirmed. Not one person in that chat room, there were some 40 people in there last time you were on. Not one person in that chat room even looked at it and said anything. I said, go look at that. If you think that I'm full of crap, look at the link and then tell me I'm full of crap. Not one person.
Well, Howard, this has been my frustration the whole time I've been on the air. For example, talking about the income. You hear them talking about the rich are going to be taxed and the poor, and that's socialism. Well, I have a copy of the original income tax form in my possession right here at the desk. And what does it say? The first when the income tax was instituted in 1913, the first $10,000 a year that you made was exempt. This was a tax on the rich. The original graduated income tax was a tax on the rich. Apparently, these bloviator nitwits that are on radio and television today don't understand that the graduated tax is to tax the rich to give to the poor. It was instituted that way. It was filed that way. And what happened was the rich removed themselves from the tax rolls by setting up foundations, setting up the Federal Reserve System, setting up tax-exempt endowments. So you can't talk to Boobus America is Boobus America. And that's why I said the same crap that you prophesied when you were here in America that I've been talking about for years, nothing's going to change. You're going to see bankruptcies, you're going to see crime rising, and you're going to see more and more oppressive laws put on the American people, and they're going to be happy with it. And I'll tell you why, Howard. Listen carefully. You realize that by the year 2050, whites in America will be a minority.
Yes.
That you can take to the bank. The way the non-whites are screwing, they're out screwing us. We're aborting, they're screwing. Okay, to be perfectly frank, so nobody has any problem understanding what I'm saying. When you come from a country like Africa, Colombia, South America, Venezuela, you could live under tyrants here in America that would be 10 times more liberal than the tyrants in the countries that they came from. So they're going to think it's gravy here. I have people that I know that I speak of that came from Mexico, they came from Cuba. They come from Cuba. They think it's heaven here. Of course, the guy can't smoke, he can't do all these things, but he compared to what he was living. So oppression is only by degrees, Howard. And as long as you give these new immigrants enough degrees difference between what they came from to what they have, we Americans who have lived long enough to see what happened to this country with the freedoms that we have, we're dead. We're Neanderthals. We're prehistoric monsters, Howard.
Irving, let me tell you what drives me absolutely nuts. It's when people say to me that, well, it's really not that bad. There's other countries that are a lot worse.
Oh yeah.
Here's what I say to these bastards. I say to them, look, if I'm walking down the street and I see my neighbor, and Sally, syphilitic Sally, whatever her name is, and she's got one black eye, and I look up at her and I say, Sally, what happened to your eye? And she says to me, well, my husband hit me last night. And then I say to her, that's an awful thing. And she looks back at me, she says, well, yeah, but it's not that bad, because Mary down the street, she's got two black eyes.
Right.
I don't give a good goddamn whether I got two or I got one. I don't want one. And I don't give my government permission to give me a black eye. And this particular government has been running roughshod all over the American people for years, and the American people are turning belly up and saying, you know what, just give me some more. And I got to tell you something. I'm pissed off about it. I was so pissed off about it, I left the country. I didn't leave my country. My country left me. But I'm annoyed at this stuff, and I'm so upset that not one person, hardly anybody, gives a damn. They don't really give a rat's ass. And that's the reason why I left. You know I was prolific on radio. I hit every radio station, even the black radio station. They hated my guts, but I told them the truth.
Well, there was a guy a little over 2,000 years ago told the truth, and look what happened to him. Howard, always a pleasure. Stay well, my friend.
Bye-bye, Irv.
Bye-bye. Now, here's a real question that really has merit, really deep, intense question on the chat room. Irv, what happened to the new Dead Sea Scroll interpretations that were being deciphered in Philadelphia? The Dead Sea Scrolls haven't been in Philadelphia since 1979 that I know of. That's when I saw them at the University of Pennsylvania. Now, the Dead Sea Scrolls, my dear friend Bob, and for those of you that are not familiar with what the Dead Sea Scrolls are, they're the original writings in Hebrew, which have the original from the script, from the papyrus, and from the other type of writing information was in Greek, Aramaic, and Hebrew. And what happened was that over the years, the Jews have found things in the Dead Sea Scrolls in Israel, the Catholics have found things in the Dead Sea Scrolls in Rome, and the Protestants have found Dead Sea information in the Dead Sea, and they ain't going to get together, because if the Dead Sea Scrolls, Bob, ever got fully interpreted, you could take all the major religions and stick them in your ear, because they don't mean a damn thing. The Roman Catholic Church would go in the toilet, the Orthodox Jews would be eating ham on Sunday, and the Protestants be scratching their ass saying, how come we lost this deal? So don't ever look, folks, for a clear and decisive interpretation of the Dead Sea Scrolls. It blows apart 90% of the religious myth of the Judeo-Christian heritage. And now, if you want to really know something, Bob, what the Muslims are doing, what Islam is doing to try to destroy the interpretation of the Dead Sea Scrolls, which is very easy to do. Now, nowhere has there ever been anything trying to get into the freedom of information. You would think that the historical Dead Sea Scrolls that are the original writings that were found throughout the Middle East would be the truth of Christianity, the truth of Judaism. You don't think these guys got a good thing going on? Millions and millions of, they ain't gonna blow that because some guy 2,500 years ago wrote something that was the original writing. I hate to be as caustic. I hate to be as cynical. I hate to be as nasty as I am sometimes. But it just grabs you right by the scrotum when I hear this crap, folks. It really does. I know I'm rude, I'm crude, and I'm everything you want to say. You're absolutely right. But damn it, I'm right. And Howard, I can understand Howard's frustration. You get information. You learn about stuff from my program, from others of my character that have been in the business, writers who have written books, who have spelled out specifically that the mistakes you make today, you're going to pay for down the road. Don't mean nothing. The human race is a bunch of, you know, there have been many people before me that said, but I'll say it. It's amazing how God made more horses' asses than he made horses. And it just boggles the mind. The things the people will suffer, the abuse they will take, but also the disrespect for common sense, the disrespect for a modicum of intelligence, not book learning, human learning. I'm Irv Homer. Until the next time.